And we are going, ladies. Welcome to the High Button podcast. Briden, Charlene, how are you?
So great.
Excited to be here.
Very excited.
We've done some remote podcasts. Maybe it started in my mom's basement, then we moved to my place. But we've probably done 5, maybe 6 remote podcasts. I have to say this might be one of the cooler locations we've done, looking over a rink.
Yes.
Walking into the rink today for the first time, a couple staff members welcomed us.
That's awesome.
Happy to be here in Pictou, and we're looking forward to this tournament coming up here.
Well, if you don't know that this is going to be the very happy section of the tournament too, because this is also known as the beer section.
The beer.
So this is the beer tent of
Okay.
the rink. So this is going to be fully open this weekend as well for our Newfoundland friends or our New Brunswick or PEI friends. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how are you guys both feeling right now? How many days away are we? 3 days away from the
like
start?
Hours it feels like, but
Yeah.
today's Tuesday, so yeah, game gone Thursday morning.
So I'll ask the same question, but for both of you. What's the feeling right now for the girls in the dressing room and the team? And then what's the side of the committee? How's everyone feeling? So whoever wants to answer first, you guys
Go
go.
for it.
I'll start with the girls. The girls are very excited. That would be an understatement. I think after the last couple of years of COVID and what they have missed out on, not just from a hockey sense, from a development sense of life, they are just pumped to be here.
Yeah.
I know some of them would want to sleep at the rink for the next 2 nights if they
Yes.
could. And
true.
I honestly would too if they would let me. But we're just grateful to be in the rink and having an Atlantic Championship. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Yes, agreed. So this tournament would be going into its 3rd year. This was supposed to happen a couple years ago. They literally were like on the 11th and a half hour, and they got pulled out from underneath them. So I feel very, sad for them because this is such an amazing opportunity that we have for these girls. But I would honestly say, with COVID even this year, Christmas came, we still didn't know. I would say January, February. At the end of February, it's like, okay, we can go now. And we're like, oh my goodness, we have so much to do because this is not just a tournament. Atlantics is like in a whole new level. I mean, Provincials is one level and Atlantics is in a whole new level. So you have to appease sponsors. You have to appease all, the different provinces. So it's really amazing. I think we've covered all of our I's, T's, and did them all. These girls, I'm hoping they have the most phenomenal weekend ever.
We've had a couple conversations with other organizations hosting provincials and hosting Atlantics. And when talking to sponsorships, talking to parents, talking to teams, coaches, it seems that the common trait is, yes, let's go full pedal to the metal.
Yes.
Let's make this thing happen. Has that been your experience with everything behind the scenes?
There's this level, and then I always want to bring it here. I'm so grateful that you guys are going to be with us this weekend because I feel like we're going to do the awesomest tournament ever, and I really love the fact that you guys are here to capture that for the girls, and they can always look back and reflect on that.
No, we're pumped to be here. Traveling for work is a great part of what we do, so we're happy to be here for sure.
Yes.
Inside the dressing room, and I guess throughout the year, knowing that Atlantics are coming, there's a little bit, not that there wasn't more on the line in the past 2 years, but with COVID, it's kind of like, what are we playing for type thing. Knowing that there was something to look forward to this year, did that amplify the year a little bit more maybe?
Absolutely. I mean, even though we had a period of time where we weren't certain Atlantics were going to happen or not, we have been building for this moment all year.
Yeah.
And I have a slogan ready for the girls in the locker room, and we haven't come this far to come this far.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not done yet, and this is just the start of our, climb into that pinnacle of winning this championship.
Awesome.
And I think it's our job as coaches to make sure that those girls believe that we can do that, and as coaches, we have no doubt that they're capable of taking this home. So
awesome. So Briden, I hear you have a little bit of a background in hockey. Not a little bit. You do have a big background in hockey, playing in NCAA CIS is where. Tell us about you.
Well, I grew up playing my minor hockey here. There wasn't girls hockey back in the day, so I grew up playing in the boys' game, playing against John Sim actually years ago. Now we're good friends and neighbors and have kids on the same team.
Oh, no way.
Which is pretty cool. He's been a bit of a mentor for me as a coach as well. And then went and played in the NCAA. I went and played prep hockey in New Hampshire for a year, and then in upstate New York at St. Lawrence University, and out to Saskatchewan for a year in the CIAU, formerly the CIAU, that's now the CIS. And
that's awesome.
And I've been coaching probably for the last 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
incredible.
My playing days are long done.
Yeah, even Gretzky's days are playing over. Everyone hits that point at some point. How much do the girls look up to you? I know it might be hard to answer that, but it must be nice having a figure to look up to with these girls.
I think so, yeah. And I think in terms of representation in the sport on the bench, There's not a lot of female coaches around.
Oh, yeah?
And I kind of came up through minor hockey coaching in the boys game, and just switched over this year to the female game as well.
Okay.
So I kind of have that perspective as well, and I think we're in a unique spot here where we have Blair Turnbull, the home of Blair Turnbull, and Troy Ryan is going to be coming this weekend to speak at the banquet, the head coach of Team Canada, and Corey Chevry, who's over coaching the U18 men's team.
Right
now I was just messaging her, and she's kind of been guiding me along the way, and she has some words of wisdom for us too. So
that's
she's
awesome.
kind of breaking glass ceilings for us in terms of coaching hockey players and not just coaching female hockey players.
How important was that for you to bring all these people together to try to, I guess, create some influence with these girls? I'm not saying that there is an influence already with guys like Troy and Blair and Jill, but how important is it for your side of the business to be like, okay, look, let's get some of these people here so that they can talk to the girls?
100%. I also, in addition to wear the hat of the chair of this amazing event, I'm also president of Fundy Highland, which is the
I didn't know that.
one of the 7 zones here in Nova Scotia. So for me, I have a major passion for female hockey, and going back from Briden, getting dressed in a janitor's closet from back when she played hockey, female hockey with the boys team, to having full dressing rooms for the girls now.
In the junior A room.
It's huge. Yeah, it's huge.
Big leagues.
I mean, we've come miles and miles for female hockey. We still have a long ways to go, but I really feel that is for a different podcast, not for today's. Today is all about just how excited we are to be here with the girls and show them the most amazing tournament ever. To be honest, a lot of these girls, AAA, U15 AAA, this might be the top of their career,
playing
right?
careers,
The next goal would be U18 AAA, and a lot of these girls would love to, take that next step, but this might be potentially their highest step that they go, and we want to make sure they feel the love when they're here this weekend.
What are the what's the common trait right now between all the other coaches and all the other teams that are coming here to Pictou when the conversations happen of, okay, we're going to welcome you guys Wednesday whenever they're coming Thursday? Well, what's everyone saying? What's everyone looking forward to the most about? Is it the banquet?
It's amazing because the emails that I've been getting from the managers and the coaches, it's they're just making sure that their girls are taken care of. Honestly, I was sharing with Briden, they're making sure that they have snacks in the dressing room. They're making sure that they have their water and all these things. I'm just show up. We're going to have everything covered for you because there is no stone that hasn't been turned for these girls because as much as I love our girls, I love all girls playing female hockey. I mean, granted, when they hit the ice, blood's going to shed for for our team, but I mean, I want them to all know that I'm doing this for all the girls, not just our team, because I really feel like female hockey, this is where it's at.
And I love what you said, Briden, when you come up, we're we're in the junior A room right now. It's that is a big deal and even when I was younger at that age, doesn't have if you're a guy or a girl, it doesn't matter, but just doing that little bit of a detail of we're going to be in the junior A room, and little things like that make this tournament special, or whatever tournament you go to, and it's cool that you're doing that, you know?
Absolutely.
Just being able to put that little effort. But on top of that, throughout the tournament, what are some things, I guess, little efforts that you guys are going to do to make, wow, this is special? I saw you guys have hoodies coming in the back. Do you the battle? But was I allowed to say that?
These swag bags are going to be the best. So we are, part of the contract. So in addition to all the other things we have to keep going, we have a contract to withhold saying in order to get this bid, we need to make sure that we are going to do all these extra things for the girls. So we have a gift bag for every single girl that's coming to the tournament, and I would value them overall probably about $10,000 for these grab bags. So, they're all going to be wearing their swag. They're going to be proud to be playing for the Atlantics, and I just can't wait to see their expressions on their face. And at the end of the day, all I want is just a thank you from the managers, the coaches, the girls. I want smiles. I just want everyone to be happy. Banquet, we got some special little things that we're going to do as well, and I just want them to be happy and have the best weekend ever.
That's awesome.
They're going to be treated like pros.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
Sure. Yeah.
That's the best.
They have dressing rooms. We might have the Crushers room because we're host, but all the girls are going to have their dress rooms all weekend long. They get to leave their gear. They're going to be it's going to be professional for them, right?
Leaving your gear.
Leaving your gear.
Game
that's
changers.
Huge.
I was
loving that.
I was gonna ask you if we could somehow. Well, we'll talk about that later. Leave our gear. We were talking. We had a couple meetings before. And we were talking about some of the community involvement and the sponsorship. How has the community of Pictou here been generous towards this whole event?
Well, I'll let Briden talk on that because Sobeys is our major sponsor. But as you know, we're their local family here.
Yeah, we're excited and obviously grateful to have Sobeys as our title sponsor, kind of looking after everything this year. I'm proud to say that because I grew up 10 minutes from here with a lot of the Sobies.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool for me to be part of something this big and to kind of have these girls
Absolutely.
showcase their skills on a big stage.
And they also sponsor our association. Sobies is also our major sponsor for our individual associations.
The
so
Sobie Stars.
They definitely put a lot of emphasis on female hockey here.
That's awesome.
Locally, for sure. I mean, not even locally. They sponsored Team Canada.
Yeah.
Right?
And Blair Turnbull.
And Blair Turnbull.
Isn't there like a big logo
There
of Blair
was.
and they took it
It
down?
was right there.
Was
but
it?
they took it
Yeah.
down.
They just took it down. Had we, been on our game a little bit more, I would have said, please, just one more week. Leave it one more week. So,
Wicked.
Yeah, it's super wicked.
Managing the girls' expectations through this. I'm nervous and I'm not even playing.
Yeah.
But, take, what was it, 2 years off that this hasn't happened? So there's a lot, there's a lot riding on it. How do you manage these U15 girls' expectations when it comes to nerves and stuff?
Yeah, that's it's interesting you say that. So the first practice we had this year, I wrote on the whiteboard. I'm a big quote lover. That's kind of how I motivate my players. But I said expectations are a privilege, and that was the first thing that I said to the group when we had selected the team.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been my mantra all year with them and the coaching staff is that if we have low expectations for them and they have low expectations for themselves, we're never going to get to where we want to get to as a team. And managing expectations, that's something that I work with a lot of elite athletes at many different levels, and that's a big conversation. But I think it's just all in the preparation, and we've been preparing for this weekend all season. Even when we were locked down, for a month and a half, 2 months, we were intense and we were focusing on those, fundamental skills, but we always had that in the back of our heads in terms of what we were working towards and what we were expecting from ourselves day in and day out.
Okay.
So.
And my apologies. I should be calling you Dr. Cohen.
No.
Yes, I should be. That's my apologies.
Answer you.
I'm sorry.
She want to answer you at the rink.
But having a psychology degree, that must come in. That must come very helpful for what you do here.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a big part of kind of what I think a diverse skill that I have to bring to the table as a coach is that mental performance side of things. They don't always want to listen to what I'm telling them, but I can kind of give them the tools and lead them to the water, and hopefully, it sticks with a few of them in those big moments where pressure kind of gets big for them. So,
That's
which will
awesome.
be this weekend, but
yeah.
I think for girls, they need a little bit more time to think about it. Like, she might say it, but then, they need time to think about it.
Yeah.
Coaching girls is very different than coaching boys.
It is.
Can you give me an example?
Which
well,
one? Many examples.
There's many
Just
examples,
one.
but I don't know if I
I
can
don't
be
know.
politically correct.
I don't know. I mean, I've been part of this association a long time. I feel like with boy hockey, you can just yell at the boys like, why the heck did you just do that? And they're like, I'm sorry, coach, I'll do better. And the girls are like, why is she yelling at me? It's like, pull it together.
Yeah.
Do better.
Yeah.
You got it. Just do it. So, yeah.
I think it all stems from relationships and trust, and myself and Dave and Jason on the coaching staff, we've developed relationships with each and every one of these girls, and so all of this stuff that's happening this weekend is just I think the nerves and some of that pressure stuff, I don't really think it's going to come into play. I think we built that relationship. We trust one another, and we're just ready to go out and have some fun and
awesome.
And go to battle. So
That's
we're
sick.
ready. We're ready.
We
I'm
are.
ready.
Everyone's been
all
waiting.
the teams are ready. Honestly.
2 years in the waiting, it just anywhere, not even just everywhere in life. Whenever there's an event and people get together, it's just fun. Everything's amplified right now.
Yeah.
So it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of people here, I think, this weekend, too.
The beer fridge is already full. I love it. I was trying to get in there before you guys got
Hopefully
here.
it's locked over there.
I wanted to talk about the gold medal for the women's Olympic team. You don't have to, like I said, you don't have to be a man or a woman. Just winning a gold medal for Canada, that's a huge deal. But being a young female hockey player in this country, inside the dressing room, how much did that influence these girls to want to work harder to represent their country one day? Did you see it in their eyes, their attitude? I don't know.
Absolutely. I mean, you're kind of like a segue rolling it out for my saying. So my other slogan for this weekend, which the girls are going to find out when I go down to the room, but is why not us? And a friend of mine, Jennifer Botterill, she's a sportscaster on Sportsnet Hockey Night in Canada now. I don't know if you know her, but I used to play with her many years ago. But she came and gave a speech one time and talked about a saying that she had, that she would talk to her dad, "Why not me?" And she went on to have a very long career with Team Canada, winning multiple Olympic medals and world championships. And so I've always said to my daughter and my kids and my athletes, why not you? Why not us? Why can't that be you with a gold medal around your neck? And we've kind of had lots of conversations throughout the season around individual goals and team goals and what you need to do and the work you have to put in to get to that level.
Yeah.
But why not?
Yeah.
Why not you?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great example for Blair. She's from here. Why not? Go.
Why not? Yeah. She grew up
Jill.
around the corner from me. I was an old lady and she was a kid, but
that's crazy to think about.
That we joke about. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, it's great to see that.
Yeah, I mean, the girls would have practice from like 7:30 to 9. They're like, okay, only 4 more hours and Team Canada's on. And we're like, but there's school. But it didn't matter. Because the girls are so excited. As parents, we didn't care that the game was at 1 o'clock in the morning, our time. It was just such an amazing thing for them to watch. So,
100%.
Yeah.
And if you look at women's sports right now and the momentum that you guys are carrying, how much, even like this tournament, it's important, I'm assuming, to you guys to carry that momentum and put on a great event, no?
100%, yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's lots of scouts that are going to be here this weekend and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, this skybox is going to be full of people from Hockey Nova Scotia and scouts and officials. They're very important as well.
Yep.
So, and we have all female officials this weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Which is like
huge.
Is that
huge for us, because
that was a mandate for us.
It was a huge mandate for us, because you know what, girls can, if hockey isn't their full path, maybe going into being officials and reffing at a high level caliber. So here we are. Like, we had to just curve your own path.
Why is it like a women's ref is important? Like, is it for that reason, or is it like
I feel like they officiate very different. I mean, you could probably say more to this, Briden, but I feel like the female officials will allow a little bit more of a physical game, because there is a line that has to be crossed. Like, our girls are physical without full body checking.
Okay.
So I think female officials sometimes will let a little bit more rubbing go, where the guys are like, they don't know where that line is, so they'll call it.
Yeah.
So
they call it like body checking, but there's no body checking permitted, but there's body contact.
Oh, yeah.
And if you watch some of these games,
you'll know. You'll see what we're talking about.
It's pretty physical, and I can just speak to that in terms of watching the AUS. I don't know if you saw the playoff game between St. Mary's and St. Yves's.
Okay.
They had an all-female official throughout that series, and they
beat
each other up pretty well,
Yeah.
and it definitely adds to that level of intensity and compete and battle, and also I think representation matters, even if it is officials or coaches or players. It doesn't matter what your role is in the game. I think it's important that there's females in all the roles.
Yeah.
So
I remember watching the Olympics, and there was, I don't want to say full-on hitting, but it was an intense game.
Oh,
it's
like and I was like,
yeah,
what are the? Not that I was questioning the rules, but there were some things I was like, let's go. Like, this is very intense.
Yeah.
For sure,
Yeah.
and especially Atlantics, it's going to be going.
I mean, every team is putting everything they got out there. Like, there's nothing's going to be left come Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
So,
challenges logistically getting this thing together. It's been 2 years off. You're getting a bunch of people together. What are some challenges?
I don't know.
I know you do know. I know you do know.
There's so much. I mean, I've built really good relationships with all the managers. I feel like we're like best friends without even knowing what they look like. Right, even from the hotel, they had a flood a couple months ago, and we're dealing with we were planning on putting all the teams in the Holiday Inn, but then they had a flood. So it's just so many little things. And like PEIs, full mask, and we're not. It's just like constantly the rules are changing, and constantly communicating with the teams and say, okay, you guys are good for this, and I recommend this, or so there's just a lot of those little things. But you know what? Every team is so excited to be here. They would have They would have bought an airplane if they had to get here. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of airplanes, travel, I know you did play NCAA, and that even for junior hockey, I remember NCAA was never really an option for me. It was Mooseheads or bus type thing.
Right.
But having gone down to the States to play hockey, how much guidance do you like to give to these girls that have the option to go? If it's U15, when would they have the option to go NCAA? 2 years from now?
3 years.
3 years from now.
Yeah.
Having that guidance of like going down there, is that something that you like to preach to these girls?
Absolutely, and I think in the hockey world, it's a small world, and I think sharing our life experiences in hockey is really, really valuable, and I've been quite vocal with our group, with our girls, and anytime I have a chance to speak with people involved in the game, I always talk about
she's been my mentor some this year too.
my life experiences and what is out there, and really compared to what was there 25, 30 years ago when I was kind of going through it. Sky's the limit now, really, and the role models that they have to look up to are not male, they're female, which was not the case when I was going through it. So,
do you consider yourself a little bit of a trailblazer?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, like you were there.
Citizen, yeah. Well, it's funny. I was having a conversation with Corey Chevry a couple weeks ago, and she's a few years younger than me, but she actually called me that. And anyway, I wasn't sure if I should take it as a compliment.
Yeah, you should, absolutely.
100%.
But yeah. So
you probably have more parents asking you rather than.
Yes,
hey, should my daughter go here? What do you think about this?
Absolutely. But I mean, the options even just in Atlantic Canada now in the AUS
that's
the
true.
Programs and the players that they're churning out and the options for professional after playing 4 years, 5 years of college hockey, whether it's in the NCAA or CIS. There's more and more options for having hockey a part of your life past the age of 22.
Yeah.
Right. And that wasn't an option.
And it's more of a attainable goal now, where before it was just kind of like a dream.
Yeah.
These girls have goals set, so that's the ultimate goal, is to go to AUS and get scholarships, and then potentially play on beyond that. But let's be real. How many people, even in minor hockey, how many of them are going Sidney Crosby way? Like, that's not.
That's what my son thinks. That's what he told me today, that he's going to play it. He's going to get drafted at least.
I mean, what is your goal? I'm going to go to school because it's the stepping block to go to the NHL until they call me. But but at least with AUS, these dreams are attainable for these girls, and this, they're so close to it now, and this is the level that they're pushing themselves to get better and better.
We have a couple of AUS players that were former U18 Northern Selects that just won Atlantics in Tyne Valley. They just won, and they're headed to nationals. So we have some players that are now in the AUS that are coming to the opening ceremonies on Thursday night.
That's awesome.
To stand in front of these girls and kind of show them that they grew up in the game, and some programs that are going to be standing on the ice. So that'll be
that's what I'm talking about. That's great.
Yeah.
Like the role models. Role models are big in my life.
Huge.
I'm sure in your life.
Absolutely.
So if these girls going to have a role model, oh my God, follow their footsteps. Like the amount of influence that some of these girls might have on the younger generation, I couldn't imagine.
Absolutely.
Well, even for our girls, when we have like a lot of the volunteers and the little ones are coming.
Yes.
We say little, like U11, U13, and they look up to these girls. Like there's always, it's just the stepping blocks, and this is where I want to be next, and then next, and then next. So
Do you think that the girls feel some sense of a responsibility to grow the game? You know what I mean? Like there's so much on
my daughter
TV.
does, because she hears me about it all the time. I know my daughter does, and I'm sure her daughter does. But I think they see the challenges too, so they need to do their part and be vocal and get themselves out there.
Awesome.
Absolutely. We've had many conversations throughout the season on some of the inequities in the sport, and this isn't to put anybody
happy
down.
Fest.
Yes, this is happy
fest. I have many examples, and I've written many letters in my head at night as I lay awake. But the girls have kind of experienced some situations where they've seen some visible inequities, and we've had open conversations about that, because that's how they learn, and that's how they kind of get that fire in their belly to grow the game. And without those conversations, it stops there. So I mean, that mantra that I said, we haven't come this far to come this far, I would say it's the same for kind of continuing to pave the way for the female game and
Awesome.
in all roles, whether
Yep.
it's broadcasting or officiating, playing, coaching. You know,
And in
sky's
your
the limit.
position, it's like you can validate those concerns. Like they might think it in their head in the dressing room, like, why did that just happen? Because that would never happen with my teammates that I might have played a novice. But now, you know, Briden's been there and done that, so she can kind of validate those concerns. So you guys, yes, I 100% agree with you. This is where we're at.
Yep.
We were a long ways from here, but here we are, and we still need this much more to go. So you guys need to do your part and stay involved in the game and the sport, whether it's officiating, whether it's volunteering and
Or coaching.
or coaching,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there's lots of hats to be filled.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of coaching, the teams that you guys are playing, have you played them this year at all? I'm assuming there was tournaments this year.
Yeah, we
But-
Our only tournament was our tournament at the very first of the year. The girls
first
literally
weekend. I don't even know if we had
we
a practice.
finished tryouts and the tournament was the very next weekend.
Oh,
Yeah.
before the
The
season
Sobeys
started?
Cup, yeah.
So we've, I like to think we've progressed quite a bit. We were actually in PEI on the weekend, this past weekend,
Okay.
and played 2 exhibition games and came out with the dubs in both games. So
Yeah.
they were intense. They were very physical.
Very physical, yeah.
And we lost to them at the Sobeys Cup at the start of the year.
Very first game,
Yes.
wasn't it? Yes.
So
yeah.
it was nice for us to see because in my mind, I kind of had them. They were undefeated this season. They were
The P-
28. The PEI team.
Oh,
We
really?
went
Yeah.
over and just beat them twice. So we wanted our
Oh.
girls to kind of see that, you know, why not them? Why not them win in
Yeah.
Atlantic?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we took a bus over, and they had a great weekend of bonding and
Swimming
now
party. And,
yeah.
Yep.
Swimming party.
Yeah.
They
I
they
mean,
believe
they're
it.
U15, but they're still kids, you know, in our minds, right? They
Yeah.
need the time to be a kid too.
Yeah.
Because that's when they do team bonding. So
Yeah.
it's all relevant.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's the message for going out to play a team that you haven't played against? Is
Yeah.
it just, you know, is there?
Yeah, Briden, what's the goal?
Is that not a fair
speech?
question? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's
I
a fair question. I think we just take it one shift at a time, and we can't let the moment be bigger than the pleasure of playing the game, and
sure.
and not let the kind of the pressure take over and take over that enjoyment of why we're here
Absolutely.
and playing the game that we love.
Yeah.
And I think it's just being mindful and in the moment and doing some mindfulness stuff before the games and in between games and just really taking it all in, because like Charlene said, a lot of these girls, this might be the end of the road for their AAA career. For some it won't be. For some they've got some work to do to get to that next level, but we're just going to take it moment by moment and just soak it all in.
Soak
and,
every minute up
Yeah.
this weekend. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So, for example, right now the practice, you know, you're 3 days away. What type of practice are we looking at today? Because we're micing someone up. Are we micing? Do you know
Yeah.
who? Do you guys have
We're
someone
gonna
picked?
get that. We're
Okay,
working on it.
don't say it now.
We're,
But
oh, we're not saying it.
okay, okay. Oh, you don't even have
We don't
anyone
have
yet.
it ready.
No.
Do they know?
I was
They
gonna
know
be.
they're very pumped. So
Yeah.
Okay.
we're basically gonna like who wants to do it,
Okay.
you know, strategically. Because I mean, granted, some girls are shy. Like there's very different, you know.
Yeah. I know.
personalities on the team.
I know.
Where some girls
I
are
know.
like, you better be putting me on
Yeah,
that
yeah,
list.
yeah,
So-
yeah.
I'm gonna try. I was gonna be mic'd up, but I
Are we
tend
miking
to
you
have
up?
some No. I have a hard time using clean language when I'm on the ice. So
I don't take you for that kind of girl. You really?
Oh,
I have you fooled then.
Oh yeah.
I'm just
Well, you
kidding.
came out. You're smiling. Hey guys. I was like, oh, this girl's
Yeah.
nice.
yeah. We've no, she's very proper. Yes.
Yeah.
Very proper.
No, we're again. I think it's just pace and intensity, and it's a little late to be teaching.
That's
So I think we just need to do, have a practice with lots of intensity, lots of
Yeah.
pace, focusing on just the little things like crisp passes and your level of intensity and focus,
Yeah.
and do some things that are familiar. So you kind of get that muscle memory going,
Yeah,
and maybe
repetitive.
some special teams
Yeah.
review, and just get ready to go because this is our last practice as a group,
Yep.
and our season's done on Sunday, which brings
Really
a lot of
sad.
emotions. Yeah, I
Very
get
sad.
kind of teared
Yeah.
up thinking about it because
Yeah.
this group is special and they love each other and we love each and every one of them. So
Yeah.
we're just excited. We're
Yeah.
really excited
Yeah.
and grateful.
nervous energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just ready to get going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
I hate that feeling when you're just ready and you got to wait.
Let's
Like you can't
go.
sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep's going to
Yeah.
be terrible
But I
for the
have
next
too much to do, so we can't go right now. I have to, but we can go on Thursday.
Right.
Thursday.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Thursday.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. From now until the tournament starts, what do you have to do from now until what needs to get like ready to go? Top of the list. What is it?
I have a housekeeping email to all the managers. It's little tweaks. Because I want to make sure everything's perfect leading up to Thursday so I can actually be enjoying the tournament. Because I want to enjoy the tournament just as much as the girls, because I've put in probably like 4.5 million hours on this, and
Countless,
it feels
countless.
like I not countless hours, but it's all worth it because I just want to be able to enjoy the tournament once it gets here.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I can't say enough for the support and the blood, sweat, and tears that Charlene and
sweet.
my other assistant Dave Cohen,
Yeah.
that they're kind of co-chairs, and the amount of hours they have put in is it's remarkable, and it's very
And we're not
impressive.
super
and
sick of each other yet.
no,
we're not super
you
sick
get
of each
along
other.
very well.
Yeah.
And I just kind of show up, and to be honest, I go to work, and then I show up at the rink, and everything's kind of looked after.
Yeah.
So I will give credit where credit is due. They've poured their heart and soul into this, and I know it's going to be an amazing event. So
Yeah.
That's awesome to hear.
Yes.
You guys got me more excited now just being here. Just seeing I'm just taking your energy,
Yeah.
and you guys are pumped now.
Yeah.
Not that I wasn't pumped. This is going to be a
Yeah,
great time.
It's
going
gonna
to be
good.
fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's going to be good hockey.
100%. I did want to ask one kind of quirky question. I've never played on this ice before, and I know late in the year when it gets warmer out.
Oh,
What's the ice like?
There's
it's
the dreaded-
slushy.
Is it?
Well, we
I like
were
that
on
you're
the
honest.
ice.
I
We
like
were
that
on
you're
the
honest.
ice last week for practice, and it was one of the days it was a little milder out, and the crease was slushy within 10 minutes, and the blades were cutting
Yeah.
through it pretty quickly, and the girls were running out of steam early on in the practice
You
because
work
it's
a little bit harder.
It's so hot down there, right?
Is it?
So the dressing rooms are warm, and so but we practiced in these conditions. So I said we're at an advantage because we know
Definitely.
what it's
Yeah.
like. So
And as a parent, we can wear light sweaters and hoodies all weekend, and we're not cold.
I know when I walked in here, I took this off. We were setting up, so I took it off. But
Yeah.
like you walk
Yeah.
in here, it's warmer
warm.
for
Yeah,
sure.
it's warm.
Yeah.
And after
Yeah.
walking in this rink, like when we walked in, it was completely empty. But such a nice rink you guys have here.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Such a nice rink.
Yep.
Like I was talking to John Sim too before, and he's just like, I love coming to work here. It's a good environment.
Yeah.
The seats are great.
Yeah.
Everyone's able to walk and run into each other too. I love that. How
Yeah.
the walkways are thick. You can just see people.
Absolutely.
It's a great place to host an event.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Last little bit of what do you want to promote for the tournament? Anything that you want to get out there before we shut it down? Maybe times, maybe thank you to someone, maybe anything you want to say.
Obviously, if it wasn't for our sponsors, this is just coming in under $33,000 event. So if it wasn't for our sponsors, we wouldn't be here. I mean, I think the top sponsors are going to be splashed all over our social media platforms and whatnot. But I mean, the name Sobeys and definitely, and Stanfield's has really stepped up. They've helped us with a lot of the apparel, which has come out over $10,000
Wow.
and like kind of swag. And I mean, there's too many to list. But honestly, the community support here is amazing. Like, there's bar none. The female support here is amazing. This community is amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I would just kind of a shout out to the players, and I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about how hard they had to
These
work
girls,
to get to
yeah.
this point, and the provinces that they're representing. It was a battle to get here, and so from a player standpoint, I think a big shout out to them, because it is a pretty exciting event, but it's quite an accomplishment just to be here. And I think the skill
agreed.
level that everyone is going to see is they're going to be impressed with this
Awesome.
weekend. So
Yeah.
for me,
Wicked.
that's the most exciting part, is to see the game at the U15 AAA level,
Yeah.
the way it is
How
on
fast
display.
the game
It's
come. Yeah.
it's phenomenal.
It's going to be a great event.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of
is this
fun.
your first female caliber of this? level?
EU15 AAA is
Yeah.
the highest caliber of female hockey we've done, yes.
So
Believe so.
we'll be asking you how you think the hockey is at
All right.
the end of the weekend.
Sounds good. I like that.
We're
I
gonna
like
challenge
that.
you.
Hey, that sounds good to me. I'm pumped. I'll talk to you guys after, but I have a couple questions for you.
Right. Okay.
But no, this was awesome, guys. Thank you very
Thank
much for
you.
joining the
Thanks for
show. I
having us.
appreciate it.
We're so excited to have you here, and
We can't believe you brought us on. We're so happy to be here. We're
the extra list is over there. I've already signed the contract, so we just got those couple other 10 things to do.
yeah. I'm sure there is a couple. We got a couple things for you too.
Awesome.
But no, this is going to be great. We look forward to this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll see you guys around the rink. I'm sure you'll be busy.
Oh, yeah.
But either way, we're going to have a great time. It's going to be a lot of fun. And
100%.
thanks once again for joining the show, guys. I appreciate this.
No
Thank
problem.
much.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
having
you.
us.
Awesome. All right, we're good, Jeff. Perfect.